I do want to talk to you about something that I do believe that you are the perfect person for it. However, before I segue into it, before I ask you, I just want to make sure that everything between us is good, Bundy. Because for me, I don't want to build a relationship or try to rekindle a relationship when I know there's maybe doubts or concerns or beliefs that are different than what we're on the same page as far as how we feel, right? Obviously, as you know, you're the person I selected to run the new SCU. I believed in you. You're somebody who does amazing police work. Your work ethic, your paperwork, everything that you've done up to this point speaks for itself. And there's nobody in the PD that can say they have the same knowledge, intelligence, and police work than you have. You're one of your kind. You are the first of your own. And I saw that right away. And whenever names were being tossed around and thrown into hat, I couldn't think of anybody else but you in the past. Yes. As my tenure as chief of police, a lot of things have happened. Things that I do regret. Things that I wish I could go back in time and fix. And, maybe we're at odds. Maybe you didn't believe I was doing the right thing. The whole thing with BBMC and your relationship with them in the past and what happened with Bundy. What I did at the time, I didn't believe it was corrupt. Yeah, I mean, it wasn't corruption. It was attempted murder. It was murder, what I did. I'm not really proud of it. But I was, in the time when I was told to do what I did to Bundy, it was for the sake of justice. It was for the sake of the PD. For, following the chain of command and, protecting somebody whose life, who I believe is in immediate danger. Being the judge at the time. So, I do want you to believe in me. I do want you to believe that I truly mean well. And my whole role isn't to try to corrupt the PD to its core so it becomes rotten and a wasteland I can roam freely. That's not the case. I don't feel that way. I don't want corruption in the PD. However, is there, unorthodox methods are adapted or used or intact in the PD to get things done? Sure. Nothing is black and white. There's a whole lot of gray in between. And that's how I feel.
Look, Brian and I had this conversation. I think the same extends to you. You and I have had our conflicts in the past. There's been friction. Part of it came from the stances that... Oh my god. Part of it came from the stances that you took or that you were forced to take due to those above you. Part of it came from my own stubbornness and unwillingness to bend and, well, maybe I've got a little bit of peripheral blindness to some of my own actions as well. And I'm willing to accept that at this point. But the conversation that Brian and I had was we're going to take that conflict and that friction, and we're going to turn it into heat, we're going to turn it into energy, and we're going to work on shit, and we're turning over not a new page, but a new chapter together. And frankly, getting out of the Los Santos Police Department is exactly what I needed for that, because I'll just be transparent. I had a duty that I owed to the LSPD officers that I was working with. So a large part of you and I's conflict and a lot of the stupid decisions that I made were largely in response to what I was hearing from my police officers and the things that were going to make them happy. A large part of the reason that I wanted to go into the Rangers and what I told Tessa is I've got no interest in inter or intra-departmental conflict anymore. I have played the political game. I survived the Game of Thrones. I am looking to move past it. That includes building more solid relationships with everybody.
I'm glad. I'm really glad. I'm just over the bullshit.
If there's a suspect in the back of the car, understand that you have the right to remain silent and you have the right to request legal aid and a lawyer as well if you go inside of that cell.
I just want to make sure that we're on the same page and there's no any ill will or anything in the past that has bothered you or things you want to talk about, because now is the time before we move forward. Because what I'm about to tell you and offer you is something that is going to change the whole city as we know. It's something that is going to be not only affecting the landscape, the atmosphere of Los Santos, but also the PD as well.
I can tell you're trying really hard to focus, because normally Croc yelling in the background will take your -100 and turn it into like a -200 at the very least. But you're actually maintaining.
Thank you. I'm trying my hardest here. It's pretty difficult.
No.
Shut the fuck up!
Look, Bass, you know, if I think you're being a silly bitch, I'll call you out for being a silly bitch, but that doesn't mean I've got bad feelings towards it. I think the only recent conversation you and I have had was about that whole death roll thing with Lando or what the hell ever. But you and I talked about it, we moved past it, and that's exactly how I plan on tackling shit like that from now on. Like, yeah, that doesn't mean I'm not going to call you out in the future, and I sure as shit expect you to call me out. I'm your subordinate, so.
Do you appreciate that? I just want honesty no matter what, good or bad. I want you to be honest with me. That's what I'm going to ask. I'm not asking you to be a blind follower. I'm not asking you to always say yes to me. I'm just asking you to just be honest and tell me how you actually feel, so I understand your perspective and your opinion on things.
Yeah, 100%.
With that being said, of course.
Hey, Baas, you care about all the cops below you, right? What about, without looking at your MDW, who's in the badge number 164? Are they hired or are they not hired? You should be able to tell me that, right?
Not hired, because 164 is Davis PD.
Like me into a pile of shit basket. And you just pick them all the bad ends. God damn it.
I know the man who shot a cat is not trying to play the moral high ground. Is he TJ Walkering right now? That sounds like he's TJ Walkering.
If anything, he's my prodigy. Try to fucking kill a cat. Anyways. There is something on the horizon. There's something that I want you to be part of. And there's something that requires police officers and PD members who have a great work ethics and want to make a difference and want to make an impact. Not by using the badge as a tool to gain whatever power influence in the city, but to actually make changes happen and to either uphold the law or protect the civilian laws within Los Santos. And there is an entity that is on the rise. It's called AEGIS. That entity requires the help of a police officer like yourself, Bundy, who can join it and be part of the task force that can not only enact civil laws, but also protect the civilians when it comes to any duties AEGIS or the task force has. I would love to have you on board as a member of a task force within Aegis. And I can assure you that it's more than storefronts and businesses. It's going to start there, and it's going to lead to a lot of changes and changing the whole environment of Los Santos. And it's something that not only is going to give you more tools and power than we had in the past as a police officer, but also help you make an impact and difference right away. How many times have we tried to investigate, or how many times have we tried to enact laws or push, you know...
Remember, remain silent. If a criminal is if you bring in a criminal, okay, criminals going in MRPD, don't stop looking disturbing the peace, disorderly conduct. Those don't apply to me. I'm exercising my First Amendment rights. Those laws do not apply to me.
You know me, Bass. I have always been one to take whatever position I can to help the Unified Police Department and to kind of push the greatest amount of good that I can. I trust your judgment on this. If you think that this is a tool that's going to help us do that, and you think that I would be in a good position there, then I'm in.
The way I see it is, if we get an opportunity like this to make we can make the best out of it to help not only the police department but the whole city of Los Santos, why not? Why hold ourselves back when we can propel ourselves forward and you know, make something different. Make a difference right away. And I truly, truly believe that Aegis is that. It's going to start slow, but build big. And if you want to be part of it, now is the time to jump on the train. Because once things just get going and they start, rolling, it's going to be too late to join it.
Yeah, no, I mean, I won't lie. I've briefly reviewed some of the legislation surrounding it, and I initially found it to be somewhat confusing. I don't even want to use the word concerning. I just want to say confusing. Because the damn thing's written like a contract or something.
Well, I can go over a couple of things that are involving it if you'd like to hear. I can summarize it for you if you want.
Yeah. Give me the bird's eye view.
Okay, so we can start with obviously the first thing and the most important thing. Look behind me. What do you see?
Little Moscow, which has been largely abandoned for the last 2 months.
What if I point that way? What do you see?
Oh.
That building right there. The skyscraper.
FIB.
No longer FIB. That's going to be the main headquarters of Aegis. Second, the way Aegis will be governed is through a board of directors, and I'm one of them. So is Tim Collins and Eve Summers. The board of directors consists of 3 members, including a chairman. The chairman has specific powers and responsibilities, just assigning financial documents and contracts on the behalf of the mayor of Los Santos, also subject to the Senate's approval. Meetings, we do plan to meet at least once or twice a week, maybe bi-weekly. The task force, like I talked about, that's going to be something that the board can create task force led by 1 or 2 board member or directors. And these task forces can have powers delegated by the board. However, the board must approve any enforcement actions taken by said task force within majority vote. So there's a lot of, there's a chain of command basically, and there's SOPs to it, where you as a task force member can't just do whatever you please. You're given an objective from the board member, you're told what to do, you're given a goal, and then you're going to go out there and make it happen. And you come back to the board of directors and let them know your finding, and then they approve everything, and then it gets finalized. Now, as far as the roles of the officers, like yourself, which would be called an officer within the Aegis group, there's a deputy chairman, the treasurer, secretary, and then there's a council, and then the vice presidents. The deputy chairman must be a board member, which is probably going to be me. While the other officers are going to be non-voting members, officers can be removed, reassigned, and the authorities can be determined by the board of directors. And then a lot of the laws and SOPs can be amended and changed by the board of directors through majority vote.
So who else is going to be operating as members of the board?
Myself, Eve Summers, and Tim Collins. We are the 3. So if 2 out of the 3 want something to happen, it's going to happen. Because you're going to always outvote that one person, right? So, however, I do believe Eve and Tim are pretty level-headed. Especially Tim being the chairman position as well.
Yeah, no, Tim's always been extremely helpful to me anytime that I've had to reach out to him on something, whether it was related to the CERBERUS contracts or any of his deputy mayorship responsibilities.
Well, yeah, I mean, he's actually going to be the chairman of the board of directors of Aegis. The first task force will be focused on storefronts. And like I said, I know a lot of people think, oh, it's going to be only focused on business and storefronts. It goes way deeper than that, okay? I'm talking going into the deepest valleys of Los Santos, Bundy. I'm talking about one day, okay? And I'm saying this, no promises, but this is just kind of vision I see when I think of Aegis being the dome that protects Los Santos from any attacks, foreign or domestic. The weapons and arsenal it has to not only defend itself, but also fight off foreign or domestic attacks like Little Moscow or the Russians, or whenever we got fighter jets or Apache chopters trying to attack us. Instead of using our pistols and our class 1s, we have other ways to protect ourselves.
You mean like that thing that was getting chugged along by a bison that the mayor was riding in the other day?
Correct. Yes. That's exactly what I'm talking about.
I got a picture of him riding in that. He looked badass in that.
You showed me one and shot it up in the air. They're very lethal. And that is better than any 5.7 can do.
So essentially, to boil all of this down to layman's terms, the purpose of AEGIS would be to serve as the executive arm of the mayor's branch.
You watch Marvel?
Yeah, sometimes.
The
yeah,
Marvel
I've seen a few
Shield,
of
the
them.
agents. It's almost the same way.
Oh, okay.
You're gonna become a superhero,
sense.
Bundy.
Count me in, Baas.
Hell yeah! Ah, what a sigh of relief. Oh, okay. I need you, Bundy. I need you. Not because I want you to always, be, like I said, agree with everything I say. It's because I want the man that is inside of you. Okay, wait, that sounded really wrong. I want you working with me.
I didn't think you could come up with a worse analogy than look at the stars, they're all dead, yet here we are, Baas.
It is a blessing and a curse having my speech ability.
Well, you got it. I'm with you, Colonel.
All right.
All the way.
I'll notify the board of directors of your invitation. I'll be, let me send you the Aegis by Law. What I summarized kind of just, what I told you. I'm going to send you a link here. Then once you're fully in, I'm going to send you the SOPs as well.
All right, beautiful.
Hell yeah, we got Bundy! 2 down, 1 to go!